and I'm standing outside of Starbucks coffee, and this is little Andrew, or No-No Boy. And anyway, I have some interesting stuff to share with you in regards to having a way to live your life without having a need for coffee. And I'm coming out with a new program, actually something I developed about 2.5 years ago, which is called Instant Energy Exercises. And this is a much better way to get yourself woken up, and there's so many positive benefits as opposed to all the negative benefits, which we'll talk about with coffee. Now, look at Andrew. Let's see, Andrew. Go, run, go run. Look at him go. He's running around like this all day long. Do you think he needs to drink coffee? He never drinks coffee, and yet he's got a ton of energy. So why is it that as adults we get to the point where we lose energy and you need to drink coffee to wake yourself up and to feel stimulated and alert? Okay? And I'll tell you right now, the main reason is because of poor health. Not getting enough sleep, not eating properly, not exercising. Andrew, of course, does everything. He exercises, he eats great, he eats all fruits, vegetables, his mommy's milk, and he gets plenty of sleep. So when Andrew needs to lift me up, he doesn't drink coffee, he goes to sleep. And he builds his energy that way. So one thing, by the way, I'm going to show you at least one of my instant energy exercises at the end of this video. So, but point being, instant energy exercise cannot make up for a lack of poor health. But what it can do is wake you up in terms of mentally, but it's not going to stimulate you. It's not going to artificially drain you of energy like coffee does. And I'll talk about that more in a minute. I had to leave Starbucks because it was a little gray outside, very noisy. We're on the highway. By the way, that's a Starbucks in East Brunswick on Route 18, right near Tice's Lane, just to give you an idea where we were when we were shooting that earlier today. And today is actually, I guess, the day before Thanksgiving. So anyway, I wanted to, just talk to you a little bit about the problems with coffee. Also, remember, I'm going to show you one of the instant energy exercises later on. Now, I guess a lot of people have this great feeling about coffee, it just makes them feel good. And what a lot of people don't realize is that when you drink coffee and you feel that extra burst of energy, coffee is not actually giving you any energy. All it's doing is whipping you, stimulating you into an incredible bodily frenzy. Coffee is actually a poison. It's so poisonous that your body does everything in its power, okay? Your body increases its output of adrenaline, speeds up the metabolism, does everything in its power to get those toxins out of your body as quickly as possible, and usually within 2 hours. And that's one of the reasons why coffee is considered a diuretic. The way you eliminate the toxins is through your urine, okay? Your body's creating, doing all it can to get that stuff out of you. Okay. The other thing is, people. The problem is people are often thinking, "Oh, that's not a problem. I'll think ahead." One of the things I'm very grateful for is, as a child, I was brought up to be. My parents told me to worry about, or to consider the fact that by eating certain foods you can become addicted to them, and that it may be very difficult to stop. And coffee is definitely a drug. It's highly addictive. They did some experiments. People just drinking on one coffee a day, 1 cup of coffee a day, and then they put them off of it. And even after just 1 cup of coffee a day, they found it very addictive. They had withdrawal symptoms because it's basically a drug. I have a friend of mine who, I guess he didn't think of the consequences, and he started drinking coffee. I guess going to college and all that. And I remember one time, I don't know, about 15 years ago, he tried to stop. He was off of coffee for 3 months. But he couldn't think. He couldn't function without the coffee. Well, now 10, 15 years later, he's having all sorts of health problems. He could barely sleep at night. Basically, he's having adrenal fatigue. When you drink coffee, you're stimulating your adrenal glands to output more adrenaline, and you keep doing it, and eventually you wear them out, and your health is going to collapse. Now, there's something else very bad about coffee. Coffee is highly acidic, and when you eat very acidic kind of foods, what happens? Your body needs to neutralize the acidity. And guess what happens? In order to neutralize the acidity, your body needs to take the calcium out of your bones and take some of that calcium and flush it into the bloodstream so that your bloodstream keeps somewhat homeostasis, stays at its normal pH level, which is about, 7.4, I don't remember the exact numbers, so, slightly pH. But coffee is highly acidic, so I want to try to encourage you to find a way, if you are drinking coffee, even just a little bit, to never drink it again. I mean, would you willingly just take poison every day just because it tasted good? Hey, this is pure poison. And think about this. I was looking at the prices at the coffee at Starbucks, and you're paying $2, $3, $4, close to $5 depending on how big it is. And I know some people are going there 2-3 times a day and getting their coffees, getting their stimulation, and they're so cool. Hey, we're all having our coffee. But you can be even more cool, okay, by living for health. And it's just a totally different life. Let's start a new group of people who want to be happy and healthy and full of light and joy and energy. And so anyway, so this is what instant energy exercises can help you do. It can help you to avoid coffee. Because not only do instant energy exercises give you more energy, but you can actually use them to help you break addictions. Okay? I read about this one story of a woman who she was having work done on her house, the home improvement kind of stuff, and it was like for a year or two, it was just her whole house was a mess, and she was just constantly under stress. And her solution at the time was to take a glass of wine. And after a while, she started being concerned that she was, becoming an alcoholic. So she went to a doctor who happened to be an expert on exercise and brain function, and he suggested to her, well, why don't you do some exercise? Every time you want to grab a drink, grab a glass of wine and drink that to deal with your stress, instead do some exercise. And it turns out that the exercise that this doctor recommended is one of the instant energy exercises. So right now I'm going to tell you what she did, and it's something very simple, very common. And some of these exercises are things you know about. Some of the exercises are not. The key is most people don't realize that you can use these exercises to quickly warm up your body, give yourself a natural high within 2 or 3 minutes, and get yourself as awake as possible without stimulation, without having the ups and downs in your mood swings, without putting a poison into your body, which who knows how it's affecting you emotionally and mentally. Certainly it's making you look older. Do you know that, for instance, that people who drink coffee, they tend to develop these bags, dark, heavy bags under their eyes. It makes you look ugly, okay? Don't drink coffee. Do something better. And here is one thing you could do to help get rid of your coffee addiction.